Good day, everyone. I am Brian Denny, and I will be presenting the topic entitled AI-driven approaches in drug discovery and development. So let's define terms first. We have this what we call drug target. So drug target is actually a molecule in the body, usually a protein, of which is addressed by a drug to produce the desired certain or therapeutic effect. Meaning, from the word itself, target, this is actually where the drug acts upon, and then when the drug acts upon the target, it produces the therapeutic effect. And then the drug is a chemical substance of known structure other than a nutrient or an essential dietary ingredient, which, when administered to a living organism, produces a biological effect. Now, I'd like to put emphasis on the phrase biological effect. Biological effect because when the drug acts upon the drug target, it produces the desired therapeutic effect, and that is the biological effect. Then we have, as to drug discovery, we have this what we call discovery phase. So this involves identification of a new chemical entity as a potential therapeutic agent. So basically, this is the initial phase of drug development, drug discovery and development. And then, if you were able to identify now the NCE or new chemical entity, you then proceed to the next phase of development, which is called the development phase. So this is when the compound is tested for safety and efficacy for one or more clinical indications and in suitable formulations and dosage form. Then we have druggability. It is the term used in drug discovery to describe a biologic target such as protein that is known to or predicted to bind with high activity. So, um, as to the history of drug development and discovery, so before they thought of healing as something supernatural, and then they later found out that um, some sources of things which can be used to heal a certain conditions may come from plants. This is actually um, what we have right now. Say, for example, your drugs used to treat malaria. This actually came from a plant, no? Also from animal sources and other natural resources. Say, for example, your microorganisms can actually produce certain biologic substances which may be used to kill other microorganisms. In context of antibiotics or antimicrobials. Take, for example, your penicillin. Your penicillin was developed from fungi, which is your penicillium. And then later on, uh, they discovered alcohol, opium, and there were advances in drug discoveries. So when it comes to drug development, again, I've made mention that this always starts with discovery. Discovery, again, meaning you identify first a new chemical entity. And if you see a potential of that new chemical entity to treat a certain condition, then you proceed with the development phase. So development basically involves testing of the drug for its biologic effect. And then we now test for its efficacy and safety. So before, um, because of poverty and lack of access to modern medicine, about 65 to 80% of the world's population, which lives in the developing country, depends essentially on plants for primary health care. Now, currently, the major pharmaceutical companies have demonstrated renewed interest in investing higher plants and sources for new lead structures. Now, the thing is, with advances of technology, we solely rely on old methods, old techniques in harvesting the potential of these traditional medicines, plants used as traditional medicines. But with advancing technology, basically, uh, with the advent of technology, we can now use AI and some other technology which will actually make harvesting these compounds used for drug development. So it started out with um, medicinal plants. No? So this is what I have mentioned. And to establish evidence of drug, no? So it always starts with um, historical research, and then clinical research if it passes several regulations, and then before you get to administer these drugs and have it tried or trials on humans, you actually have to undergo preclinical research, in which in preclinical research you use models before you test it to humans, and then in pharmaceutical research, this is now where we use humans as subjects to test for its therapeutic effects. Now, in general, to explain it further, um, discovery of new drugs entail really a long process. So it may start with in vitro and then in vivo testing, and then we check for its safety profile before we can move on to clinical trial. So when we talk about clinical trial, this is actually the time that we use humans as subjects. No, so phase one testing for safety profile, phase two testing for efficacy, phase three safety and efficacy, and phase four as post-market surveillance. So from drug discovery, we go now, if it passes drug discovery, the initial phase, we go to preclinical development, and then clinical development, when we test it with humans, and post-market surveillance, have it approved by Food and Drug Administration of the country. So this is what I've mentioned, the different phases. So changes, basically my point here is that the change starts with drug discovery. This is actually the time when you identify a new chemical entity that has a potential to be developed into a certain drug. And the process is quite long, such that the initial process, no, before we proceed to preclinical development would actually take 1 to 3 years. This is in the Philippine context. Preclinical development would take around 1.5 years, and clinical trials would actually take 6 to 7 years. That is to uphold the um, standards set by the Food and Drug Administration. So as you can see, since I've mentioned it's quite a long process, long and tedious research, drug discovery is costly, slow, and high risk. And AI, or artificial intelligence, accelerates discovery by extracting insights from large-scale biomedical data. So with the advent of technology, with the introduction of artificial intelligence, this basically hastens drug discovery and removes unwanted costs when developing a certain drug. So these are the key AI approaches in drug discovery. So we have machine learning, deep learning, generative models, natural language processing, network-based and graph AI reinforcement learning. So I'll discuss this one by one in the next few slides. So machine learning involves supervised and unsupervised learning. So this is used for QSAR modeling, target prediction, and ADMET profiling. Whereas deep learning approaches involves neural networks. So this basically improves protein ligand interaction prediction and molecular representation. So probably molecular docking, no, is actually one of the application of your deep learning approaches. Then we have generative AI and de novo drug design. So this is basically used for diffusion models for novel molecule generation. And then we have reinforcement learning in drug design. So this optimizes molecular structures iteratively and balances potency, toxicity, and drug likeness. So it's very useful for testing the safety and efficacy profile of the drug in the discovery phase. Then we have the natural language processing. So this involves text mining of literature and patents, knowledge graph construction, and target and biomarker discovery. Then we have network graph-based AI. So this involves protein-protein interaction, disease gene-drug relationship mapping, and this is really critical for drug discovery, especially in the field of cancer research or oncology. Then, as to oncology, there are actually lots of these AI models or models, yes, were actually used to target identification in the different cancer pathways. Say, for example, precision oncology and biomarker-driven therapies uses AI. And as to clinical development, so this is actually the development phase of drug development, discovery, and drug development. Basically, AI is used for patient stratification. Say, for example, if you want to help select, no, or enroll your participants in a certain clinical trials, AI can actually be used. In fact, we actually have so many apps that we can use to help us streamline the data that we need for clinical trials, that we collect for clinical trials. And then trial optimization and prediction of therapeutic response. So there are actually lots of advantages of using AI in drug development. So number one, this reduce cost and time. Then there's actually higher success probability when using AI driven approaches in drug discovery and development. And of course, this improves decision accuracy. As to the challenges and limitations, there is actually data bias and interpretability. The thing is, not everyone is an expert of using these AI driven approaches, and so there might be data bias or difficulty in interpreting the data that you gathered using AI. And there are also regulatory and ethical concerns, and there is a need for experimental validation. As to future directions, omics may be integrated in these AI-driven approaches and end-to-end automated drug discovery pipelines may be used also. These are my references. That ends my lecture. Thank you very much and have a good day.